Hi, good evening to all. Yeah, today we'll solve our next question, probably the question number 4 in the same series, array as frequency counter. And I hope in the previous last three questions you understand what is the pattern of array as frequency counter. So before I begin with the solution and the problem statement, let me know I'm audible and visible to all. My primary coding question is Python, coding language is Python, but now I'm finding that most of the companies don't want Python. Correct, Sanam. Actually, for DSA, nobody will recommend you to use Python. But if you are doing like DSA in Python and along with this, you're doing development in Python, only then it is sensible. Otherwise, you need to change. Right? Otherwise, you can prefer Java or C++ or something for the DSA especially. Okay. But if you're doing like data science or you're doing AI/ML something, then Python is good. Python is good. Okay. Cool, yeah, so cool. Yeah, how's the energy? And anyhow, the count is very less. Count is very less. Can I have more bigger count? Or actually, I have one dream that even a thousand of people will coming and sing here. Try one thing. Help me in one thing that share this life to somebody who need it. Okay. Let's begin with the problem statement. I'm Gaurav Pandey, a mentor friend, and today we'll solve a question number 4 in the same series, array as a frequency counter. Okay, the problem statement that we are hi Siddharth. The problem statement that we're targeting today is that's trust me, very cool problem. Okay, and anyhow, that's a good problem which repeatedly has been asked in multiple companies. I've given you the few names here. The one name is Samsung, Amazon, Goldman Sachs, and the problem name is find missing and repeated values. And this is also based on the array frequency counter in the same series. Okay, in the same series. I always say that when you want to master TSA, practice topic wise. And anyhow, that's why I created a series where you're practicing multiple questions on the same topic. Only then that topic will be clear to you. Okay. Okay, so let's move ahead over LeetCode. There we'll solve our problem statement. First, we'll understand what is the problem statement, then we will solve it. Okay. So the problem statement is now high infinite bytes. Now the problem statement is you're given a zero index 2D integer matrix grid of size n by n, means you will have one grid, that's the multiplication, like the size of that whole grid will be n by n with values in the range 1 to n square. You know that when you apply array frequency counter, you always have values 1 to n, right? But once you have 2D array, you have two dimensional dictionary, you have two-dimensional like list or something, that time you will have value 1 to n square. Why? I'll tell you the reason, don't worry. And then each integer appears exactly 1 except which appears twice and v which is missing. So what is the thing is that you will have one 2D array, a 2D list or 2D vector something. Then our job is to find what? The task is to find the repeating and missing numbers a and b. Okay, so let's see the problem statement. We'll see the example. Example is grid. There you have value 1, 3 and 2, 2. So the thing is, I'll tell you from the example itself, otherwise you'll be confused. So here the example is, and what was the name of the array? That was grid. Okay, so 1, 3, 2, 2. So you have one grid. Okay, you have two-dimensional something, 1, 3 and 2, 2. So they mentioned that you will have value as 1 and square. Okay, so tell me what is the size of this grid? You will say 1 and 2. So the size of the grid is just not 2, which means the value will have 1 to n square, means the value will have 1 to 4, right? So the thing is that their one value is repeated, and if something is repeated, that definitely has occupied the place of something, right? And one value is missing. So we need to find that only. We need to find that only. So what we need to find? We need to find missing and repeated. This is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for. So what we will do if I want to use our array frequency counter, the simple ideology is what? We'll create an array and anyhow we know the value will be 1 to n square, and that is the first condition. of using array as a frequency counter, that you will have value 1 to n first thing, or 1 to n square, right? Second thing is that all the value will be positive, and third thing is that there will be some dependency on the frequency. So let's figure out, do we have a frequency on, like, dependency on the frequency? Let's see. Okay, so now here, if you simplify this grid, you will have what? I'll create one. We'll simplify this grid. You will have what? Look at this. You will have 1, 3, 2, 2. Tell me, is there something missing here? Is there something missing here? You'll say yes, something is missing. What is missing? If values should be 1 to 4, then 4 is missing. 4 is missing. First thing, who is repeated? This 2 is repeated. But how you get to know? How you get to know? How you will write the code for it, right? That is a question. How will you write code for it? So that's simply what we'll do is that we'll create one frequency array. Okay, and that frequency array, tell me what will be the size. And from the first video till here, I've always told you in this particular series array as a frequency counter that you will always create a frequency array of n plus 1. Why? Because if you have value 1 to n, means 1 to 4, you will have size 5. Why? Because only then you can utilize this 4 as an index. So you'll create a 5 size, means what? The size of the grid multiply by this, like grid multiply by grid. What is the size? Okay, this is grid plus 1. So which means this is size is 2, 2 multiplied by 2 plus 1 becomes 5. Right, so the 5 size will create. So let's say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the indexes of that particular frequency array. Okay, so now correct Sanam. So now what you will do? Tell me. You will count the frequency of each element, and you will utilize the element of this grid as an index of this frequency array. Yes or no? Tell me yes or no. That's what we do in array as a frequency counter, right? We use the value of the array or the list in the frequency as indexes. So let's say we have 1. Go on 1 index, do plus plus. So on 1 index you will have 1. Yes or no? Yes or no? Tell me in the comments. Yes or no? Now again you have 3. Now tell me on third index, what will do? Plus plus. By default all the value will initialize to 0. Again on the second index you will do plus plus. Previously it was 0, now this became 1. Now again you have 2. So you will do plus plus. Now tell me, when you will do plus 1 on the value of 1, you will have 2 here. And the rest values are 0. Right, so anyhow you will ignore this 0. Why? Because you have value from 1 to n square. So 0 is not important here. What is important is, whatever index will have value as 2, that is repeated. So 2 is here, whose value is repeated. And again, whatever the index will have value as 0, that is missing. So 4 is missing, right? 4 is missing. Yes or no? So you will have your output. So now the thing is that output will be 4, 2 or 2, 4. That we'll see. That what we want to give first. Missing or repeated, that you will see from the output window itself. So look at, they are telling 2, 4, which means first repeated then missing. First what? Tell me. First repeated then missing. Right. So this is what we want to do. So now I hope everybody has understood the code. The problem statement I hope clear to all. The solution is also clear to all, like the basic fundamental approach. We will have one frequency array, there will count the frequency. Those elements will have frequency as 2, they are repeated, means only one obviously is there. And again the element which have frequency as 0, that is missing. I'll give that particular value in different array, in different list, on different vector based on the language. Right? Yes or no? Here, how's the energy? I can't see a lot of interaction in the chats. I want to see interaction and energy that are really serious about the things. Okay. So now let's write the solution. I'll write the code first. I'll write the code in 3 languages. Okay, in Java and C++ and Python as well. So now here, what I'll do first, I want one, and I'll calculate the size first. Okay. So let's say size or length something. Probably size is good, right? Size sounds good name. So what is the size of this grid? Tell me. Grid. So dot length. So that's how you calculate the length in Java. So you will have this size. Now tell me what will be the size of. Now sounds clear. People are serious. Now here what we'll do, we'll have one list or one array or one vector depending on the language. Now we are writing in Java, so we will have one array. So we'll create a frequency array. Okay. Tell me what will be the size. New, and here we pass the size. Size multiplied by size means square of the size, right? Why? Because you have 2D array. So square of the size plus 1. So if you have size as 2, you will do 5. The size will be 5. Because only then you will have last index as 4. Right? So this is equated the frequency array. When I want the result, because anyhow we are returning result in array itself, so I'll create another array of 2 size. Okay, so let's say result, and that has size as 2. Okay, two size array. Now what I'll do, I'll count the frequency. So for loop I'll utilize, or for each probably I'll utilize, and I will have another array because this is 2D array. Tell me, when you will iterate this grid, you will have another array. Yes or no? When you will iterate this particular array, you will have another array. So what I'll do, I will have another array here. So I'll, let's say, write a row or something, because this is pointing out to rows. One row is 1 comma 3, second row is 2 comma 2. So colon, I'll use the for each loop here. So grid. Okay, so we are iterating the grid, right? So now we are having one array row again. So for getting the value, what you have to do? You have to iterate this row again. Okay, so for now you will have value colon row. Row is another array, and now what we'll do that we always do. Tell me frequency value plus plus. Yes or no? That's what we agreed to do, right? And now here we'll write the logic. We'll iterate our frequency array and I equals to 0, or we can directly iterate something, whatever feels good to you. I is less than frequency dot length, and then I plus plus. Right? This is what we do every day. Yes or no? Right? And here, what we'll write, like if what? If the frequency is 2, which means that is repeated. Yes or no? If frequency is 2, means if on a particular index you have value as 2, we can say that is repeated. And if that is repeated, that will go where? On 0 index. Look at this. That is going on 0 index. So I'll write here result on 0 index. I'll put the value of I. If this is not case, then we'll check the another case, else if. The another case is the frequency I 0. If that is 0, means that is missing. If frequency of particular element is 0, that is missing, and that is missing, we'll put where? On result on 1 index, right? And that here I'll put the I. It will keep doing it, right? It will keep doing it, and then at the end, I will return my result, right? And again, those people are watching this video for the first time, I request all of them to watch the series from starting. Like if you want to learn average frequency counter, watch the first video, then second and third. This is probably fourth question. Only then you'll understand completely. Okay, that's why I'm covering multiple problem. Again, you'll be able to make it the solution. Okay, cool. Yeah. So now I'll run this. It is accepted. Then I'll submit it. And in which language you need a dry run? Write in comment. At the last I'll count the boat. Okay, beating 100%. Then can somebody tell me what is the time complexity of it? Yeah, anyhow this will run till n only, right? And this is only 2 times. You have 2D array only, right? Or something. 2D array, I don't know 2D array or something, but probably no, you can have multi-directional array. So here you will have this m and n is like m into by n, means you can say probably n square time complexity you will have at big of n square, and that is the best possible solution. Why is that? Because yeah, grid and matrix both are same. Son, I'm not rather needed. Now look at after 4 questions you understood the problem statement completely and the solution as well. Great, Sana. You'll do well in life. Okay, so Java. Okay, cool. Now what we'll do is that we'll copy this particular code. Now we'll convert the same code in C++, then in Python. You need dry run in Java, we'll do in that. Okay, so now in C++, here, okay, in C++, what you don't have this length method, you have size method. Okay, you have what? You have size method for vectors, and this is how not you create the vector in basically in C++. You create vector with the help of vector notation, right? So what I'll do, I'll remove this everything. I'll write here a vector, and here the type is int, and name is frequency, right? And size will be this. Cool. Yeah. Now for result also we need another vector, but anyhow you have to initialize the value. I want the initial value to be 0, because in CPU you have the garbage value if you not initialize it. So vector int, and here I'll write a result. Here I'll write result, okay, and the size should be 2 and the value I'll initialize 0. And once you just watch this particular series from starting, trust me, nobody can beat you in DSA after a certain time. But for that purpose, you have to be consistent. That is one thing I want from you. And okay, so now how will you apply this for each loop here? Because you don't have Java here, you have vector. So we'll use vector here. Vector that stores the interval value and the name is the row, because you have nested vectors, right? And the rest thing, the size also will not use here. You'll use size at the place of length. Okay, and probably now the same code, because anyhow Java and C plus have the similar syntax almost. And for me, every language sounds similar to me in terms of learning and writing code. Just few things are changed. It's beating 3 millisecond because we are using one something like that is causing the problem. But now it's beating 100%. But it depends like whether the system is mostly busy or not. But it's a good solution. It's a good solution. One optimization is also possible. Here you are creating a copy. If you don't want to create a copy of it, you want the reference, right? Because you're creating a new vector every time. You don't want to create it, so you can have auto and here at the address of. So mean data type will be automatically defined, and the row you will have that, and that will optimize little work memory, because now you're not creating a different array, a different vector. You're utilizing the previous one only. Look at this, my memory has been reduced, it's running faster than previous. Cool, yeah. Now we'll run the same code in Python also. In Python as well. I'll go here, we'll change in Python as well. So you don't have directly length method here and the data type also. So I'll write size is equals to len method. We have to calculate the length. I'll write grid, that is a list here. And again, you don't have this, but you will do multiply, right? For having the size. So I will remove this. I will have one frequency list. Frequency equals to that will initialize as value as 0 and will multiply with this. So now you have n plus like n square plus 1 size list. For result also you need another list. So I'll create a result. By default, the value is 0 and the size is 2. Okay. So now how you iterate it, you don't have for each loop in Python, you have for in loop. So for row in what? In grid, right? Colon, and again for this also you will use like utilize the for in loop only. So for bell in row, okay, colon, and then you don't have plus plus, you will do plus to 1. Okay, now you will remove this, you will remove this, and then, and I know people will learn different languages also here. I'm coding it. So now for I in range of what? Range of length, like 1 comma, starting from 1, not from 0 index, because that is not necessary. You have value from 1 to n square only. And the length of frequency array, that we do every day, right? Now, here I'll remove this. We will have one colon. I will remove this. You don't have semicolon here. We'll remove this. You don't have else if you have elif in Python. Okay, and I'll remove this and this curly braces also. And now I'll remove this and this also. Now this is code in Python. Okay, this is code in Python. So I'll run it. Every code has already converted in Python itself. Running fine. I'll remove this, probably this extra space. Okay, so this is code in Python now. The same code, you just created two lists. One frequency list for storing the frequencies, second for the result. Okay, but this is little bit slower than the C plus and Java. So that you have to. So what is the difference between Python and Python 3? Python 3 is an upgraded version of Python. You will have multiple features, multiple different features. Okay, but look at this. This is consuming less memory than the other languages. In terms of memory, it's better. Look at this. Memory 18.23 MB, but time is taking more, but memory it's being optimized. Okay, so now we'll do dry run in Java. Okay, I guess people are asking for Java, for doing a dry run in Java. So we'll do that in very fast speed, because any of you watching this particular live from starting, then probably will have very good understanding. I'll keep this here. My pointer I'm not able to find. Keep this. Now again, my actually cursor has gone. Now, but how I will insert? Oh, not here. How to cut it? Yeah, probably I will not be able to paste it here. Probably there's one glitch in my system. I can't see my cursor. I can't see my cursor. Oh, no worry, I'll explain you right here. Where I'm going here. Uh, I'll try to explain you through my cursor. Okay, from this only, from this only. So now look at this. We had created barn, like we have calculated the size for 2D array. Okay, the size is probably, for example, in this example, look at the example number. My cursor is not going there, but no worries, I'll explain you right here. Okay, so now we are calculating the size of the grid, that is 2 as of now, for example, in example number 1, and then we are calculating the size of our frequency array. Why? Because we want to use this frequency array to count the frequencies, and the indexes I will use as the value of the grid, right? So if you have like nested, then you have to create a nested size also. So for example, you have 2 comma 2 a matrix or grid, you'll create a n square plus 1 size. So that's what we are doing here. And then, yeah, probably if I guess, no, I will not get my cursor anyhow. But where I am now, I don't know. So now for result, actually, you will have only one missing and one repeated value. So that's why I'm creating a two size array here. And again, we're using for each loop here. This row will have the inner array. This row will have the inner array, right? So now this internal loop will have the value from that inner array, and we're utilizing that value as an index of frequency, as an index of frequency, right? And every time frequency will be plus plus on that particular index, and the element which will have the frequency as 2 that is repeated, we will put that on 0 index, and the element that has frequency at 0, we will put that on 1 index, right? And at the end we will return our output. And I hope now this is clear to all. If somebody have any confusion, please do let me know. Otherwise we can wrap. Otherwise we can wrap. Is this clear to all? Do let me know, please. Is this clear to all? I hope that this is clear to all. Now see you in the next live. Maybe I will have next live on Friday, not Friday, on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday. Okay, timing you already know. On Saturday and Sunday I come uh, at 6:15. Live timing is 6:15. Okay, great, great. Yeah, again, what I want is that everybody will be consistent, and once you achieve success in life, just aim that thing and achieve it. And once you will tell me the story of yours that you have achieved something, I'll be very happy to hear that. Okay, thank you, Saram. I'll be very happy to hear that. Wish you all the best. See you in the next live. Till then, keep practicing similar questions. Okay, you can get similar question in the below tab. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my system. Here, just I'm not able to scroll or something. But here you'll get the similar question problem also. Where you will have similar problem somewhere. You'll figure out, you'll get similar problem, try to solve them. Okay. And if you're new, then please watch the series from starting. I want at any cost that you must be successful in life. Bye bye to all. See you in the next live. Be energetic and stay motivated. Bye bye to all. Yeah, now probably I cannot even stop the live. I cannot stop the live also.